do not understand how that's possible.
You met her like a week ago and she's your prisoner. No.
Reading murder mysteries make me feel really dumb. And it's just like, whoa, okay, that came out of nowhere. Well, I know I'm just having a lot more fun with it. Hello and welcome to another video. If you're new here, hello and welcome to my channel. And if you're coming back, it's nice to see you again. Today, we are going to be doing yet another 24-hour reading challenge. This will be the last challenge of the month because this month I was only doing reading challenge videos because at the beginning of the month I set myself to TBR 14 books, and so reading challenges was just the best way to get through these books as quickly and as easily as possible. So feel free to check out those other videos, they're very fun. But this is the final one, and we obviously kept the hardest one for last, and that is the 24-hour reading challenge. So I've already done 2 of these on my channel, I believe, and well, the last one didn't go so well because I got sick in the middle, so it was kind of like not really a 24-hour reading challenge. It got spread out over like 2 weeks. This one, hopefully, fingers crossed, is gonna go better. Hopefully this time we'll be able to actually do it in 24 hours. We'll see. We are at the end of the month. We're running out of time to finish my TBR. At the time of filming this, so Saturday 21st of February, I still have 5 books on the TBR. So I'm not super worried. I feel like that's definitely doable with the time I have left. Plus there's a 24-hour reading challenge I'm doing over Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and I'll have the whole rest of the week just in case I don't finish those books. So this one is going to be fairly similar to the other ones. We have 3 days over which we're going to do the 24-hour reading because I just know that there is not a single day when I'd be able to do 12 full hours of reading and then do the same the next day. My brain just would not be able to do that, so I prefer to spread out over 3 days. I'm not trying to limit myself to like this day I want to do this many hours, this day I want to do this many hours. It's really just to read as much as possible each day. So if like on Sunday we do 12 hours reading and on Monday we do 12 hours reading, then that's fine. We won't have to do any on Tuesday. So it's basically just to read as much as possible, and also I want one of those days to read more than 10 hours. We haven't yet actually managed to read more than 10 hours a day in one of these challenges. I think we did maybe 9 hours in the first one that I did, but since then we haven't done more. So my goal in this one is definitely to finally hit that 10-hour mark. But anywho, let's get on to the TBR of what we'll be reading this challenge. So the first book on here is The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson. So I've read her Good Girls Guide to Murder series and I really enjoyed that, so I'm looking forward to this. This is a standalone. It's about 400 pages. Yeah, it's just over 400 pages, and basically in this our main character Belle's mum went missing when she was like 2 years old, and now it's 16 years later, so she's 18 years, and they're doing a documentary about how she went missing because it was like a whole mystery, and then she shows up again, and that is crazy to me. I want to know. Already just the premise, so many questions, and we're not even into the main intrigue yet. Then we have The Miseducation of Cameron Post. We are finally going to be reading it. Been on my TBR for a really long time now, and I cannot wait to read it. I think it'll be good. This is the biggest one on my TBR. It's 500 pages, just under. I think it's 470. Yeah, it's exactly 470 pages. So this one's probably the one that's going to take me the longest, so I might try and get it out of the way first. Well, we'll see how I feel tomorrow when I'm actually starting this challenge, but I might try to get it that way first just because it's one that's going to take me longest, and that way I know that it's done and I don't have to worry about it. Basically in this Cameron Post, our main character, she lives in like Montana, yeah, in small town Montana, where they're very conservative, very religious, and she kisses a girl and they find out, and so her aunt sends her to conversion therapy. Also, yeah, she lives with her aunt because her parents died when she was like 10 years old. It doesn't specify, but they died when she was quite young, so she's been living with her aunt, and that's basically what it is. This one is probably going to be also the heaviest book that I'm going to read, like not just heavy as in amount of pages, but also just heavy in the topics that it will cover, but I am looking forward to finally getting to it. I saved it especially to read in the reading challenge because I keep talking about this and keep almost reading it, so I thought you guys deserve to see when I actually read it. And then the last 3 books on the TBR are all part of the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy. So Daughter of the Pirate King, Book 2, Daughter of the Siren Queen, and Book 3, Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. These will probably be really easy to read because they each, I think, are just over 300 pages. Let's see, how long is this one? Yeah, this one is literally 310 pages, so this one will probably be the easiest to read, but I cannot wait to read this because, as you guys know, I love pirates, and this is, well, as you can tell from the literal title, about pirates. So basically our main character Alosa lets herself be captured by her enemies because they have something that she needs to find. Obviously there's going to be an enemies to lovers with the first mate of the enemy pirate ship, and it just sounds really interesting, and it feels like it's going to give me that Pirates of the Caribbean feel, and I'm really going to enjoy it. So there you have it. That is the TBR for this reading challenge. Hopefully I will get through all 5 books. I feel fairly confident I will, because outside of Cameron Post, most of them average about just a little over 300 pages. I think the last reading challenge I read 5 books, if I'm not mistaken. I already can't remember. That's kind of an average how much I read during this reading challenge. I cannot wait. I don't know which one I'll pick first yet. We'll decide that tomorrow, but I'm really looking forward to this challenge and hopefully completing it and not having the same problems as last one. But anywho, enough yap, let's get into the video. So grab yourself a hot drink or a cold drink, because it's actually been quite warm in Paris these past few days, so maybe a cold drink, and let's get right into the video. Okay, so the first book I picked from the TBR was Miseducation at Cameron Post, because I feel like this is just going to be the heaviest book, because the other ones I feel like are going to be crazy, like Dora the Pirate King, I'm pretty sure that's YA, same with Reprints of Rachel Price, and so I thought that would be easier to get through, so I wanted to get through the like toughest one first, if that makes sense. Not like this one's going to be hard to read, it's just going to take a little bit more brain power. So it's about 500 pages, so we'll also start off with the biggest. That's probably going to take like 5 hours to read, so we will be reading this one for a while. We'll get through a lot of hours. My goal is to read this one today. Like I said, I'm not really doing set hours, it's kind of just I'm reading for as much as possible, and then I have the next 3 days to do it, so I just want to read as much as possible each day, and I want one of the days to go over 10 hours, to read more than 10 hours in a day. It'll happen. I also want to start the vlog with this because I have like almost put up my TBR a couple times. I have not read it, and so I wanted to read it here so you guys can finally see what I think about this book that I just like have been taking so long to read. But anywho, I'm gonna just get started because it is already quite late. It's already 5:30, so I am starting quite late today. Well, I'm probably gonna be able to start late and read this, but yeah, it's 500 pages, and honestly I don't know if you can see this, but the writing's quite small as well, and the pages are quite full, so I feel like this could take me a while to get through, but we'll see. We have here, the timer is ready, and so yeah, there's nothing left to do but start it and get reading. There you go. So it's literally like perfect rainy day, you want to spend the whole day in bed reading weather, and that is literally what we're planning on doing. Okay, so I have read about 170 pages, and it has been about 2 hours, just ever so slightly over. It is slow to read, but that's because the pages are like really full of words. Obviously it's a book, but it just means I'm reading it slower than I was like the Mirror Visitor series, for example. But anyway, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm enjoying it. It's very, I guess just because I know she goes to a conversion place, I thought that happened sooner, but like 200 pages in and nothing, like she's not out yet, no one knows that she's gay. I just didn't expect that. I just generally thought that it happened a lot quicker. But anyway, I'm enjoying it. It is really well written, I will say that. I really like the way it's written. It's very like visual, and it does feel like it's the person, because it's like eye point of view, it's as if they're telling the story from the future, and I do enjoy that. But yeah, it's really interesting, honestly. It's kind of not what I expected, but at the same time, like, it kind of is. I don't know how to describe it. It's probably, considering I read like 200 pages in 2 hours, probably gonna take me another 3 hours, so I think my 5 hour was correct. I do think this will take me about 5 hours to read. My goal is to finish it tonight. It is currently 11 o'clock. However, I don't feel super tired, so we'll see. So yeah, we're just going to try and get as far as we can, and if I finish it, that's great. If I don't, then that's okay. I have read like plenty. We're just going to lie in bed and read this book. Okay, so it is the next morning. Last night I read until there was about 20 hours left on the clock. I got to page 300, just a little past 300. Almost there. I was just quite tired, so I didn't finish the book. I prefer to like go to sleep a bit earlier and then wake up a bit earlier. I am going to lie in bed and read this book probably for about an hour. Then I'm gonna get up, have some breakfast, probably read the book downstairs, and then yeah, we'll just keep reading. You know, it's kind of the goal of these challenges. Today I want to read 10 hours, minimum 10 hours, so hopefully we'll be able to achieve that, because if not, then it'll be tomorrow. Either way, well, we've got 20 hours left, so we can do 10 hours today or tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm just gonna lie in bed, read this book, try and get through as much of it as possible. Okay, so I finished the first book. 500, oh wait, I don't even think it's 500 pages. 470 pages, and it took me almost 6 hours to read. I honestly really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really good. I watched the trailer after I finished it, and I'm pretty sure the movie is only set during her time in like the conversion therapy, and then it has occasional flashbacks to what happened before, whereas this book you have half of it before and then half of it like during. And so that was interesting. I think I will watch the movie maybe like next weekend or something, because I like reading books and then watching the movie after to see what they've changed, what they've kept, whether I like the book or the movie more, all that kind of stuff, which you guys already know I talk about all the time. I will say I like the ending, because basically, slight spoilers, at the end they decide, Cameron Post and then two of her friends decide to run away from the conversion therapy. And so the ending, basically, you don't know if they successfully run away, you don't know what happens to them after. It kind of just ends with them all just sat together, free, if you will, but they only just got free, so you can think that like it ended well and they got away, but you don't know for sure. And I think that was an intentional ending, so you can kind of give them the future that you want, because you don't know what happens to them, so you can imagine what happens to them, and I like that. So yeah, this was a really good book. But anywho, we've got book 1 down, so we have 18 hours left on the clock, so now let's move on to book 2. So obviously we're going to be picking for my TBR, and I think that the next book I'm going to pick out is Daughter of the Pirate King. And this one is quite short. I think it's like 308 pages, so honestly I feel like I'll get this done in 3 hours. But no, I actually cannot wait to read this. I absolutely love pirates, as you probably know, because I mentioned it when I was reading Never. So I actually cannot wait to read this. This is the first book in the trilogy, so I'm probably just going to read the entire trilogy. I don't think it'll take that long. I'll definitely get this book finished today, and I'll probably even get the next one finished today, because I think it's about the same amount of pages, like 300 pages or something. And then we'll only have 2 books left from our February TBR to read after I've like read this one and the second book. I am very happy and I can't wait to start this book, so that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna sit on this sofa and I'm gonna read. So I'm about halfway through the book. I think I'm about 160 pages in. There are 16 hours, 17 hours, like 16:47 left. So I'm flying through this. It's really quick and easy to read, really fast paced, really easy book to read, which is good for this kind of challenge. Honestly, so far, it's not bad, it's just not amazing. It's kind of just like a mid-level fantasy book. It is fun. I do love pirates, so that's very fun. I do like our main character, but yeah, it's nothing crazy. I feel like her and the main male character, Ryden, I think that's how you pronounce it, Ryden, I don't know. I think they liked each other a bit too quick. Like, it was insta attraction or whatever. So that was a bit, like, she's trying to find it, but he basically, after like knowing her for a week, was like, I love your hair, it's like red like your fiery spirit. And I was like, son, you met her like a week ago and she's your prisoner. No. So that was a bit quick, but I think that's just part and parcel with the type of book it is, I feel. Also, well, the plot twist would have been more plot twist if I didn't know the name of the second book, so Daughter of the Siren Queen, because I don't even know if you can call it a plot twist, but it's kind of like a halfway reveal where she is a siren, or at least part siren, I guess. But because the title of the second book is Daughter of the Siren Queen, it's kind of like, we already knew that, you know? So maybe that's why it wasn't really a big reveal. It kind of just happened. She just starts singing, pretty much. Maybe that's intentional, like it isn't really the big part of the book. But anywho, aside from that, it's quick and easy read, really good for this kind of challenge, because it really takes no brain power, not very much time, and I'll be able to get through this entire trilogy very, very quickly. So yeah, I moved upstairs because I want to be nice and cozy in my little reading nook. So I'm just probably gonna sit here and read until I finish this book, which is probably only gonna take me like a little over an hour, a little bit more, like an hour and a half max. And then we'll move on to the second one, which will probably also take me about 3 hours, and then we'll just be breezing through these books. It didn't take me very long. It took me, let me do some maths, about 2.5 hours. I thought it might take me 3.5, so it was quicker than I thought, but it was really easy to read. It was really quick to read, very, very fast paced. I feel like it was definitely the first book in a trilogy, because I feel like nothing happened. Like, we got an introduction with the characters, and I guess things did happen, but I feel like we got no motivations for anything. You know what I mean? Like, things happen, but we don't yet know why things are happening. I don't know how to explain it, but it wasn't a bad book. It was decent. I'd say it's maybe for slightly younger audiences, but not like too much younger, because it's definitely like mid-adult
16 plus maybe. And no, I just think maybe I'm a little bit old for it. I like a bit more depth in my books, but it's also Trisha Levenseller's debut novel, so that could also be why it's just not that deep, or sometimes the dialogue feels a bit off because it is a debut novel. So I will see when I'm reading book 2 and 3 if that gets better, because well, often that is the case with debut novels. They're just not as good as the books that come after because they gain experience while they're writing. But anywho, I'd say this is probably a 3-star read, which is good. Like 3 stars is still a decent rating. But there you go. So I've done 2 books and I still have about 16 hours left. Definitely gonna finish book 2 today. Honestly, might even finish book 3. So I might finish this entire trilogy today, which would be great. A new lamp and it changes colour and I love it. Like, wait a second, it's now red, it's now pink. Anyway, hello, it is night time. I have 14.5 hours left on the clock, but I am 35% of the way into book 2 and it says I have 2.5 hours left, which kind of tracks with how long it took me to read the first book. So I'm just going to at very least finish this book tonight. We might not start, depending on how much time we then have left, we might not start the next book. We'll see how I'm feeling. But yeah, so my plan is just to lie in bed and read. Anywho, a little update. So far I am enjoying it. I mean, so far not much has happened. I do feel like, and then because it's the author's like first books, but sometimes things kind of happen and you just have to go with it. They are a lot of fun. I will say I'm having a lot of fun with them, but I think they're just entertaining and not more, I think, is kind of what's happening right now. Yeah, you have something happen and it's just like, whoa, okay, that came out of nowhere. And then their reactions kind of, they adapt really quickly to things. I don't know. But it's really entertaining. I'm enjoying it for that. Like, it's not a bad book, it's just not really that deep. It's good for like, I feel like a 24-hour reading challenge when you just want something fun and easy to get through. But it's not anything life-changing, you know? I'm just gonna keep reading. And we'll see what I think. Okay, so it is the next morning. It is the final day of the 24-hour reading challenge. Last night I finished the Daughter of the Siren Queen. It took me about 3 hours, so I have 11.5 hours left on the clock. So obviously we're gonna get onto book 3 and we're just gonna do the 11.5 hours. We're gonna do that all today. It's gonna be long. It's like I said yesterday, the book isn't anything deep, it's just entertaining. It's just a fun time. It's really quick to read, really easy to read, really good for 24-hour reading challenge. I do think book 2 is better than book 1. I think the story was better, I think the writing was a little bit better. I do still think that plot points kind of just happen in that, how do I explain this? It was like we were told them instead of we were shown them. Like, we were shown them, but just the way it was written didn't really, I don't know. It was kind of a bit of tell not show. Things would have happened and it'd be like, right, that happened. And it would have consequences on the story, but not like consequences on the characters, like emotionally. I don't know. It wasn't bad. It was a good thing. I gave it 3 stars again. It was just a fun time. But now I'm gonna read the 3rd book, and I actually saw reading the blurb of the 3rd book that, so basically like book 1 and 2, they're a duology, and this one's like a kind of spin-off set in the same universe. So one of the characters from Daughter of the Pirate King and Daughter of the Siren Queen is the main character in this one. So it's not actually a like, it is a continuation of the same story, but it isn't. It's like a spin-off in the same universe. So I didn't know that. But anywho, so we have, like I said, about 11.5 hours on the clock. This one will probably take me another 3 hours, just like the first 2, maybe a bit more. And then we will be on to the last book on our TBR for this month, which is The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which is really good because we'll finish it with days to spare, which is great. And honestly, we'll probably have to even pick up another book because I don't think, this can take 3 hours, so then there'll be about 7 hours left. And I don't think The Reappearance of Rachel Price is going to take me 7 hours to read. So we will probably even read, or at least start another book during this reading challenge. I love in books, in like historical books, fantasy books, like themed books, I love the expressions they have, because obviously they've got to create expressions to go with the vibe. They can't use modern day expressions, but here it has
where is it? A ship lit up like a tavern at night. And I don't know, I just read that. I just love that expression. It's like so pirate themed. I just love it when you have fancy books and you have little expressions, and they're literally just little expressions like that, and they fit the vibe of the book. Lit up like a tavern at night. I really like that expression. There we go, that's all I had to say. So I'm 70% in, and I am honestly enjoying this third book a lot more than the first two. I don't know if it's because it's better written or if I prefer the story, or I know I'm just having a lot more fun with it. I also feel like the vibe is giving more Pirates of the Caribbean than the first one. I don't know. I guess at one moment they had to defeat a giant beast, which is kind of giving Kraken vibes, and now there's this undead guy with an undead voice, which is kind of giving Davy Jones. Like, not really at all, but it's just giving more Pirates of the Caribbean in the vibes. Like, it's not just Pirates, it's more fantasy. Because the first book was very pure pirates with a little bit of fan service, because you kind of mentioned the sirens. The second one, again, you did have the sirens as a side plot, but it was still more about the pirating, and I did love that. I love pirates in any shape or form, but this one's just a bit more fantastical and it's a bit different, and I am enjoying it. I think I like the relationship between the female main character and the main male character. So our main female character Surinder and our main male character Kieran, I just like their relationship more. As much as I liked Ryden, I like Kieran a lot more. And like I said at the beginning of the first one, I felt like Ryden and Alossa, I was really like insta love. Like, Ryden saw her and was immediately like, yeah, I love you, I want to save you, I want to do good things for you. And this is not really giving that, which I like, because insta love is just it's not for me, because it's just not realistic. You're not going to meet someone who's supposed to be your enemy and immediately fall for you. Then these people aren't enemies. So Surinder and Kieran, they're not enemies, but like they're not necessarily friends. So yeah, I'm enjoying this one a lot more. It's really giving me more the vibes that I want for a pirate book slash from a pirate themed thing. I finished Vengeance of the Pirate Queen. Yay! I really liked it. Like, I really liked it. It was a 3.5, so it wasn't like anything amazing, but it was my favorite out of the trilogy. Just liked the characters, I liked the story, but again, it wasn't anything deep. It was really just entertaining, you know, but that's a good thing. I'm not gonna have a problem with a book that I find entertaining. It took me about 4 hours to read, I think, and we are going to be moving on to the final book on my TBR, which is crazy. We've actually like gone through so many books. That is the point of reading challenge, of a 24-hour reading challenge, but that doesn't change the fact that I don't think I've ever finished my February reading challenge this early on in the month. What's the date? Are we the 24th? Yeah, we're the 24th today. Like, when I'm filming this is the 24th, so I've got like 4 days left, but I will have finished all of them. And not only will I have finished all of them, but there's 7 hours left on the clock, so this is not going to take me 7 hours to read. It's only like 430 pages. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to finish this and still have time to start a new book, which is actually insane to me. I'm looking forward to reading this because it's something fresh, because I've read a lot of fantasy kind of one after the other, so this will be good because it'll be a bit of a change of pace. And I do enjoy me a little mystery. I don't often read mysteries because it isn't really my favorite genre or something I reach for, but I did really like A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, which is why I wanted to pick this up. And this seems really interesting because someone goes missing, but then I think it's 10 years later, 16 years later, they come back with like no explanation, and I just do not understand how that's possible. So that is really the main appeal of this book to me, is I want to understand how the story makes sense. Okay, so I'm about 130 pages in. I've been reading for 2 hours. I've kind of forgotten how interesting and fun it is to read a murder mystery, because like in fantasy sometimes you'll have elements of mystery, but because it's a genre I read more of, oftentimes even if there are like plot twists or betrayals that are going to come, I can sometimes see them coming. Not even necessarily I can see them coming, sometimes they just don't really surprise me because I'm like, oh yeah, that's fairly typical, that's to be expected. And obviously I haven't gotten to the reveal because I've still got most of the book to go. I have so many questions. It's really interesting. Things aren't adding up. Like, of course they can't add up. It's a murder mystery, they can never add up. I do find our main character a bit hard to deal with. I think she's a bit mean, but at the same time, like, her mum went missing when she was 2 years old, and then her dad was accused of the murder and everyone kind of hated her for it. So I mean, I guess it makes sense, but still, I have had a hard time warming to her, but now that we're into the story and everything, I'm past that. But yeah, this is really interesting. I'm really enjoying it. Interesting.
So I am about 300 pages in. I'm getting to the end, and as is with every mystery book, I feel we've had like the reveal of who it is, but there's still 100 pages left, so you're like, something's not adding up. But anywho, it is kind of crazy. We're getting into it, we're learning the secrets, we're figuring things out. I myself am not figuring things out. Like, reading murder mysteries make me feel really dumb because I'm generally just like lost. I'm like, okay, but it could be this, but it could be this, but it could be this, and almost none of them are correct. So I generally have no idea what the thing is in this one, but I'm loving it. I cannot wait to see how it ends and who did it. I finished The Reappearance of Rachel Price, which means that I finished all of the books on my February TBR. That's crazy. I'm so happy. I actually finished them in advance. All 14 books. Also, I really enjoyed this book. I did not see the plot twist coming. Let me tell you that. Holy Jackson. Get it? It's like Holly Jackson. Terrible joke, I apologize. I really liked it. I think this is a 4-star read. It was really good. I did not see the plot twist coming. I had some theories that were kind of correct. Like, I wasn't 100% wrong with them, but I also wasn't that right with them. This was crazy. Oh my god, so many. The end was plot twist after plot twist. Did not see it coming. There you go, folks. There is just under 2 hours left on the clock, which means this last book took me about 5 hours to read. That's what I expected. So that means I have 2 hours left to try and read another book. We have my TBR shelf, and I'm just going to see what's there, see what interests me. This is a tricky question. So, I did recently get Wuthering Heights because I loved the movie and I wanted to read the book, and it's a standalone and I wanted to read the book soon, and despite the size that's misleading, it's only about 350 pages, so I think we might go with this. It is nighttime. I've had dinner and I can just find my phone. There is exactly 1 hour and 57 minutes left on the clock, and so I am going to just sit here and read Wuthering Heights. We have finished the 24-hour reading challenge. We have read 5 books and we got 86 pages into Wuthering Heights. I think I would have gotten further if it wasn't like an old style book, because just the way it's written and everything, it's a bit slower for me to read than a regular book written nowadays. I'm enjoying it. It's interesting to see already just beginning how there are differences from the movie. It is night time. It is time for me to go to bed, and so I'm gonna go to sleep and I'll do an update tomorrow morning about the whole thing. Okay, so it is the end of the 24-hour reading challenge, and I finished my TBR in this reading challenge. I am actually so happy with how this one went down, especially after the last one. That didn't really work. This one we did a really good job. We did a day where we read 11 and a half hours, I think, 11 hours. So I'm really happy about that. I definitely passed the goal I set myself at the beginning, which was to do the 24-hour reading challenge, to finish my TBR, and to read for more than 10 hours. We did all of those things and I'm very happy. So yes, we read 5 full books, 3 physical, 2 Kindle, and then we also read Wuthering Heights. We read about 80 pages of this, I think. So I read, over the 4 days, I read 1,942 pages, so almost 2,000 pages, which is crazy, but I think that's kind of the average of what we do in these reading challenges. I can't remember how many last time. I think it's always around the same, which makes sense. My reading speed is the same, so it makes sense that during 24 hours I'll read about the same time every 24 hours. But yeah, so this was a really successful one. The books themselves, like, there weren't any that I rated super highly. They were more entertaining than anything. They were all fun. There wasn't a single book that I disliked. There was some I liked more than others, like the Daughter of the Pirate King trilogy. They were just a decent, entertaining trilogy, really good for this kind of challenge because they're easy to get through. They're
entertaining, they're fast paced, and then the rest of them were also just as good. There was only obviously this one I haven't finished, so I can't really speak too much about my opinion on this one. But yeah, so I'm very happy with this challenge. It went actually really well. I am very happy that we completed it within the time that I gave myself, and yeah, honestly it was fun, and I finished my TBR in advance. I was really happy about that. So I will definitely be doing one of these again next month because I love 24-hour reading challenges, and I hope you guys enjoy watching them as much as I enjoy doing them, because they're fun and they are obviously a challenge. They're a way to make myself read more. They will help me get through my TBR, and all in all it's just like a fun time is had. But anywho, we are at the end of this video, and so I must bid you adieu. So have an absolutely wonderful week. I will see you on Monday for my TBR video because it's the first Monday of the month. But until then, bye.